If you've just joined us, we've been talking about licensing florists. The state of Louisiana says florists must have a license to sell flowers. Here's a video of one of the state's Department of Agriculture inspectors.
Hey, Mr. John.
Hey, Dana. How you doing today?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, too.
Government workers like her go to every flower shop.
Where's your license posted, Mr. John, and get the info off of it?
Check to make sure it has a license. Confirm that the flowers are in water.
I gotta check your coolers.
And that the water is clean.
All your water looks clean.
Mike Rome of the Florist Association is with us. He says the state has to do this to protect consumers, right?
That is correct. It's to ensure the quality of the actual flower, not necessarily the design of the arrangement. So the intention is that it would improve the quality of flowers from the time it leaves the grower till the time it reaches the consumer.
All right, well, to me, the most important thing about a flower arrangement is, does it look good? So take a look at these bouquets. 2 were done, I won't tell you which, by licensed florists. 2 were done, this sounds dangerous, by unlicensed florists. So can you tell which is which? So let me ask the audience here, who thinks these 2 on this side were done by the licensed florists? Hands up here, okay, licensed. Who thinks these 2 were done by the licensed florists? Well, that's interesting. In fact, these were the licensed bouquets. So most of you were wrong. So makes me wonder what's going on here. Of course, our test isn't very scientific. One group actually did a more serious double-blind test. They got 25 licensed and 25 unlicensed floral arrangements and showed them to florists. Here's a tape of one of the tests. Those people sniffing around, making comparisons, they're all licensed Louisiana florists.
The average rating for
Dick Carpenter, a professor at the University of Colorado, ran the tests and announced the winning bouquet.
this was the highest rated arrangement for all of you. It had an average score of 40.2. What is it about this arrangement that yielded the high rating?
It's got good line to it. When you see the vocal, it pulls your eye up to the next flower. So whoever did that did a very good job.
The whoever, it turns out, was an unlicensed florist. And in fact, the unlicensed displays were rated just as high as the licensed ones on this test. So, Mike, again, that's why I'm sort of wondering, is this a scam you're running here, that you're keeping competition out?
No, and you know, it needs to be remembered that in 2004 we did a survey, and overwhelmingly 86% of the people who responded, and we had probably almost a 50% response from the surveys that were sent out, and we tried to get one of these in every flower shop in the state and asked that at least someone fill it out and send it back. And 86% of those people liked the license, wanted to keep it because they felt it gave some kind of stability to the knowledge of floral production.
So let me make sure I understand this. You surveyed your licensed florists, and they liked the fact that you have licensing. Why is this a surprise?
We surveyed, the list that we had was of the different floral shops.
And they all have to be be in your state.
That's correct. But I mean, we also asked that anyone who was licensed or not licensed, we didn't care about who. And we, on the thing, we had several that were non-licensed responses, and we did have 15–14% say that they'd like to see the license disbanded, you know, but overwhelmingly,
I mean, it's like saying to me, if I can limit when I worked for ABC, if I could have banned Fox from competing with us, I would have said, sure, only ABC, NBC, CBS.
Well, you know, you're attacking this from the point that people are being banned, but they're not. All they have to do is pass the test and take it. I mean, we had a 90% pass rate on the last one.
But wait a second. The course that teaches the test costs $2,000.
Well, there are some courses that cost $2,000, but not all of them.
Well, that's the one you advertise on your website.
Well, no, we advertise the ones that want to put their advertisement there. There are others around the state.
It takes 2 weeks to take this course, $2,000. Maybe there's some. Are you getting a cut of the $2,000?
No, I don't get anything from it.
Chip, join us now. We're joined now by Chip Mellor. He's with the Institute for Justice, and his organization, he's got some people who like him here in the audience. organization sues states that have these type of laws, saying that they are unconstitutional. And you say this is to keep out Are you suing him? Not him directly, but...
We soon will be, yes.
Sorry about that. What's unconstitutional?
In America, one of the most fundamental tenets of the American dream is the right to earn an honest living without arbitrary government interference. And
It's not arbitrary, it's a test.
what could be more arbitrary than saying who can and who cannot sell flowers and have the government be the one who decides, not the consumer?
At the same time, I mean, you don't want your plumber to not know how to not do the proper methods for plumbing. There's inspections on that, you know.
Well, it's interesting to note that in Louisiana, all you have to do is have a licensed florist on your payroll. They don't have to be in the shop. They don't have to supervise anybody. They don't even have to show up. How does that protect the consumer?
That's incorrect. They have to be on site 30 hours a week for any floor shop that's open in the state of Louisiana.
And somebody checks?
There are. The Department of Agriculture is responsible
Is this the
for
best use of our tax dollars?
Well, I mean, they pay a fee to have it done.
Well, we're not going to solve this today, but Mike, I thank you very much for joining us. Chip, please stay with us, because coming up, unlicensed florists aren't the only ones who need the government's permission before they can work. Do you know the state wants to control yoga instructors and interior designers? When we return.